Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is July 4th, 2025, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing my SPX and Condor trade. That's 0-day options, 20 delta, 10 wide, trading to $1 million by the end of the year, within a few more months, seem like right now. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, yeah, this is me training my brain. Actually, it ended up training it in a couple of different ways, this whole strategy. And the other thing, whenever you have a strategy, I always didn't get it when they was talking about you have to manage your trade. I said, how do you manage your trade? What should I be doing? What do I do? It ends up being, okay, when you start seeing your trade actually, when it's making money, what should you do? Should you lock in some profit? Should you take profit? Should you close that trade, opening another trade to continue that trade on, especially if you're trading options? Because again, you don't want to, if you have any kind of long options with data decay start working against you after a certain point of time, it's probably better off to close that trade and opening another trade. If you're shorting something, again, you can short those things all the way to zero. If it's going in your direction and that you're making your money that way, because again, you get to keep all the money. But it's still at a certain point, do you want to have a continuation of that trade or what? Or when the big question to me always when they talked about managing trade, when it goes bad, what should you do? When is it really bad? And that's the whole thing about me practicing this trading strategy. I've seen now when this trade goes bad, what's best for me. For me right now, when this trade goes bad, I don't want it to go. You have to give it some wiggle room. So you end up giving it I end up giving it about as much wiggle room as much money as I'm going to make. So I end up giving the money back that I was expecting to make on the trade. Then, that again. So it's about like twice as much, than what I was expecting to make. And I had to find, okay, am I okay with that? Can I manage again? Do I have something that I can do to offset that with my other trading positions that I have on at the time? I'm okay with that loss as is and just leave this thing alone. I'm the type of trader where if I see a position losing, I want to cut that loss fast. Number one, and on this particular trade, I found out what's cutting that loss fast. Cutting that loss fast is keeping it $1 or less on the overall trade, $1 or less, So, because at that point, I know I can usually, if my mind is all set right and everything is going good, I can make $1 in the market with this product. That's the whole other thing. We all get where we want to. We get in a battle against a particular product. Some of us do. Not everybody. Some people are just kind of product indifference, does a market indifference, as long as they're just making money somewhere. And overall, by the end of the day, you are positive. That's good. And that's the way I look at it. Overall, by the day, I want to be positive. If I see something going wrong, though, with a particular trade that I have on, I want to cut that loss short. And a lot of times, I will jump to something else that I'm more familiar with to make that money back, and again, to keep myself going up instead of taking a little bit of a hit but just because of that trading plan, because of that trading strategy, and that's the other thing that I'm doing with this is to make sure this trading strategy is going to be okay strategy for me, and I'm not getting too many losses with it, and I get to see the different market conditions, how this thing works. Here in this low volatility, the VIX, we're looking at the VIX right there now on the chart, with it dropping like it's dropping and it's down below 20 and getting out where it's hanging out down here around this 16, 17 like it did all this week. It was some days I think I had platform problems, but I'm also seeing that the credit that I'm receiving, and with this market going up and all, it can be I have to take those losses fast, when it comes to back to the whole managing of the trade. you see that this thing is going to, you kind of almost expect it is at a point based on the way I have my indicators and my tools set up. I expect this thing to probably usually keep on going when I start seeing it's bad. It's at the point where I say I should get out, get on out, now place another trade, or if I haven't already placed another trade to actually offset that trade. And that happened once this week. I actually had to do it again, but I think it happened also again. It happened last week also. So I'm beginning to see this. A trend is beginning to start. We'll see how it goes for the next few weeks here with this, with the VIX being down like it is. So that's one of the things that I'm picking up now in this market. That's again why I like, again, I started this off in very high volatility market, and now the volatility has dropped. So I get to see how this thing plays out in this low volatility market. So that's why I do it, and I do it for a full year. Things can always change and always will change. It's the thing is adapting your mind to change, because that's the only thing that is constant at all is change. But let's go ahead and jump over here and look at this. As we can see, the VIX is down here around in the 17, 16 range right now, which is kind of low compared to where it was, but still it's a little high compared to where it can go. That's the whole thing. This VIX can actually get down like it was back in one time. I've seen it. I think it was hanging out down close to 10, so I know it can go lower. But let's go ahead here at the Monday. Monday, I was able to place that on Condor. On the call side was at 62.20, 62.30. On the put side, 61.60, 61.50 at around a 0.2 delta. Ended up receiving a $2.65 credit. Was able to close that trade for $2.15. I placed that trade at 9:31. Was out of that trade by 10:11. Next day, Tuesday, it was a no trade day. This is one of those days. This is a trick. As you can see, this trade was this day. The market actually went sideways. The problem was with this no trade day, I think we was having platform issues. Because on Monday there were some platform issues where data wasn't coming in, and I actually had to go to the live side where I like watching my charts and I had to pay more attention to my live charts and stuff. Instead, I should have live charts in this paper account, and these are the charts I usually have on my setups here, and I just trade on the other platforms. That way, I don't have to be trying to look at charts and look at everything else. It's just I'm just focused on placing my trades on there, and then no charts in front of me other than these charts here on my other screens. So, but this day right here, it was a platform issue, and I couldn't play the Condor trade, wouldn't execute. Then I tried the long call trade, and that worked, and I made 50 cents on that long call. And I only did 50 cents because that's normally what I'm looking to make a day. 50 cents is $50 because it's 50 cents times 100, so that's $50, and then times the number of contracts that I'm doing, which is 100 contracts, so that ends up being $5,000. So just doing some option math for you for those who don't understand the option math when I say 50 cents, what 50 cents really means. All right, on Wednesday, again, it was a no trade, and I didn't do anything this day. This is one of those days, again, we were still having platform issues. The trade didn't place. I don't think I even tried placing the directional trade because I was doing, since it was a very bullish week and I was expecting the bullish thing that was happening. I was doing some live trading in some of my other accounts to try to pump them up a little bit. So again, no trade here with this Iron Condor on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I was able to place that Iron Condor trade, but as you can see, this is one of the things on this particular day. The market was going up. I did do the long call. It did go against me. I ended up taking around the $1 loss, a little less than $1.90 loss on this trade, and then did a profit of just a $1.10, so only 20-cent gain for the day. That's that minimum profit for the day that I like making. Again, I was more focused on some other stuff than I was focused on this virtual trade at the time. So that's why I did what I did and didn't try to go for more. Plus, around what time did I place at 9:54? So that was around this time, 9:54. That was around when this candle made this pullback that I actually went long. Again, I was here and I was expecting it to break here, but I just, as you can see, I was out of this trade. It doesn't show. Yeah, I was in this trade only for a minute. So I was just in this trade from here to here, somewhere like that. Just a quick scalp, just to be done with this, where I can continue doing other stuff that I was doing at the time, But that's pretty much it for this trade. And the other thing that I was going to bring out, one of the things a lot of people are talking about a 10 o'clock entry. One thing, if you do enter this trade at around, no trade recommendation, but that at 10 o'clock entry, what really makes sense about that, the market likes making these moves in the morning from that 9:30 to 10 o'clock. And you see this, you can see it to the upside, you can see it to the downside. Every now and then, if there's some kind of call throughout that's going to happen later in the day, it ends up going sideways. But if there's no call, holiday, or some kind of event has happened to cause the market to choose a direction, usually by 10 o'clock it slows down. So if it's slowing down and now you're placing that trade around 10 o'clock, that ends up allowing you to have your that 0.2 delta, or where you're selling your strikes at, it's going to be further out. It's going to be further away. It's going to be based off of this high. So that's going to create that to be further away if it's going to be trending up. If it was trending down, it's going to make this one be further away. But here at this time, and if it's going down, volatility is going to be high. So that's going to push that further down and push that one farther up. If volatility is low, this bottom one is going to come up a little bit. But it still should be safe. You don't know. But again, it's just going to give you probably a better range of the market if you wait till 10 o'clock. I can see that. I've been getting, since this whole 10 o'clock thing came up, Eastern time, I've been watching that. And that's one of the things I've noticed, that it could be maybe, if their data show that it is a better entry, I can see why. But based on where I like being in and out of my trade, taking the small profit, I'm still okay with my 9:30, and I will stay at 9:30. And when I start this trade, I will start it at 9:30 because I'm not going to be trading this many contracts and all. I'll be trading a lot less, and I'll see how it plays out if I get filled and how it works out with this when I first start doing it live. But that's it. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the numbers and all. Friday, today is Friday, it's a holiday, so it's no trading at all today. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday holiday. We had 2 no trade days. 2 days that I actually trade, and even one of those days was actually a loss day. So only really one good day this week, of placing this iron condor trade during a holiday week. That's something to make note of too. Maybe a holiday week is a good week to take off trading. Just hint. That's all I want to say about that. All right, but let's jump over to the numbers and take a look at the numbers on Monday. Yes, as I said, I was able to place that iron condor trade. It was entered at 9.31. Got a $2.65 credit. Closed it at 10.11 for that $2.15. And I only made 50 cents? 50 cents on the trade. That's all I really look to make on it. And that's another thing I've been doing with this week. I was just trying to be in and out because, I had high expectations of what I could do this week and all. And as you can see on the next day, Monday, Tuesday. On Tuesday, I took the quick scalp of 50 cents on this trade just to do something in this account because I was having problems. This is when the day we was having problems. We had data issues on Monday, but the trade did finally fill. It did fill, but it was kind of acting funny about getting out and all. And some of the data wasn't coming up on some of the other charts and stuff. That was the thing. Because I usually look at all my charts and stuff on this platform. I love this platform and all. So I took the quick 50 cents here, and then on as you can see on the second, it's no trade at all. I didn't trade at all in the virtual account, as you can see, for this particular strategy. And I'll then come on Thursday, yesterday. It was the day that I had the problem, 270 out at 360, 90-cent loss, and then went back and made it $1.10 of that, only 20-cent profit for the day for this particular trading strategy and this particular product. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, this is where I had on Monday, I think I canceled this thing because this thing was looking bad, and I thought it was going to go, and I didn't want to be sitting all day in front of the computer watching this thing. I don't know. I got in a different spot, different space, so I ended up readjusting this trade to get it out where I got out at. And that's pretty much it. So that's all I really want to share. Hope you guys have a happy 4th and all, and I'll talk to you next week. This is the Right Side Trader. Have a good one. Bye. Happy 4th of July, and thank you, new subscribers. Talk to you later. Bye.